Matlock, 1986 to 1995, captured the hearts of audiences with its gripping courtroom drama and the charismatic performance of Andy Griffith as the sharp-witted lawyer, Ben Matlock. Decades after its final episode, the show remains a cherished classic, still enjoyed by fans old and new. But what happened to the talented cast who brought the beloved characters to life? As we step into 2025, it's time to uncover the paths they took after the series ended. Join us as we explore the careers, personal journeys, and current lives of the Matlock cast, 39 years after the show first graced our screens. Andy Griffith, who portrayed Ben Matlock in 1986, was 60 years old when he began playing the beloved defense attorney. Matlock was a sharp, folksy lawyer known for his ability to outwit his opponents with unorthodox methods and homespun wisdom. Griffith's portrayal made him a household name, but his personal life was far less idyllic. He married Barbara Bray Edwards in 1949, but their marriage ended with her death in 1980. Griffith's subsequent marriages to Salika Kasuto and Cindy Knight also ended in divorce. He faced personal struggles with loneliness and emotional pain, which were compounded by a battle with heart disease. Griffith's life ended on a tragic note when he died on July 3, 2012, at the age of 86 from a heart attack. Despite a successful career, his personal life remained marked by emotional turmoil and failed relationships, leaving a legacy of both triumph and sorrow. Clarence Dillard Jr., who began portraying Conrad McMasters in Matlock in 1989 at the age of 34, brought a character to life that was both loyal and resourceful, a former deputy sheriff who became a private investigator and Matlock's trusted ally. Dillard's portrayal of Conrad stood out for his integrity and sharp instincts. Off-screen, however, Dillard's life was marked by personal struggles. His marriage to Katherine Moennig ended in a painful divorce, and the actor became a father to 2 children, juggling both his acting career and fatherhood. While Matlock helped establish his career, Dillard's later years were marred by health problems and a dwindling career in acting. His battle with illness became more prominent, leading to his withdrawal from the limelight. Despite attempts to regain stability through teaching and mentoring, his struggles with personal demons, including family and career setbacks, persisted. Clarence Dillard passed away on November 23, 2022, at the age of 66 after a prolonged battle with an undisclosed illness. David Froman, who portrayed Lieutenant Bob Brooks in Matlock starting in 1986 at age 48, was known for his portrayal of a reliable, hard-working officer who worked closely with Matlock on many cases. Off-screen, however, Froman's life was fraught with sadness and difficulty. His marriage ended in a painful divorce, leaving Froman emotionally scarred and struggling with the demands of rebuilding his life. The emotional toll of his personal life, combined with financial difficulties, began to affect his career, and the roles he once sought became less frequent. In his later years, Froman faced a battle with cancer that deeply affected him both physically and emotionally. Despite his battle, the actor remained stoic, but the relentless fight against the illness eventually took its toll. David Froman passed away on February 8, 2010, at the age of 71. Warren Frost, who portrayed Billy Lewis in 1991, was 66 years old when he began his role as a wise and supportive figure in Matlock's life. On screen, Billy Lewis was a beacon of advice and comfort, yet off-screen, Warren's life was steeped in personal darkness. Warren's family life was marked by tumultuous relationships and emotional strife, particularly due to his struggles with alcoholism. His career, though respectable, was often hampered by his personal demons, and his roles, while memorable, could not overshadow the pain he faced in private. Despite his many talents, Warren could not escape the crippling effects of addiction, which distanced him from loved ones and resulted in strained relationships. In his later years, his health deteriorated, and he was forced to deal with the consequences of a lifetime of self-destructive behavior. Warren passed away on February 17, 2017, at the age of 91 after a prolonged illness. Don Knotts, who played Les Calhoun in 1988, was 64 years old when he began portraying the quirky and bumbling character on Matlock. Known for his comic timing and lovable nature, Les provided much-needed lightness amidst the drama. Knotts had already established himself as a comedy legend through the Andy Griffith Show, but his personal life was marked by struggle and heartache. Knotts had 2 failed marriages, first to Catherine Metz and then to Lauralee Chuckna, both of which ended in divorce. Despite his professional success, Knotts battled feelings of loneliness and the emotional toll of his broken relationships. In his later years, he also fought a battle with lung cancer, which led to complications and ultimately his death on February 24, 2006, at the age of 81. His passing marked the end of a career full of comedic brilliance but deeply tinged with personal sorrow. Jason Wingreen, who portrayed Judge Arthur Beaumont on Matlock in 1987, was 67 years old when he began his role as the wise, fair, and thoughtful judge. Wingreen had a successful career, appearing in other iconic shows like All in the Family and The Golden Girls. However, his personal life was fraught with emotional difficulties. His first marriage ended in divorce, and his second marriage faced challenges that left emotional scars. Though he had 2 children, his family life was never fully stable, and his relationships were often strained. Wingreen's personal struggles were compounded by health issues in his later years. He passed away on December 25, 2015, at the age of 95 due to natural causes, following years of dealing with the fallout from both personal and professional hardships. His death marked the end of a life filled with deep challenges, but also a legacy of performances that left a lasting impact on television. Anetta Coates, who played Judge Cynthia Justin on Matlock in 1987 at the age of 54, portrayed a strong, fair, and compassionate figure in the courtroom, a role that showcased her talents well. However, her career trajectory after Matlock remained disappointing, with fewer roles that allowed her to demonstrate her abilities. Coates, who had earlier enjoyed success on The Andy Griffith Show, faced personal challenges in her later years, including the loss of meaningful work and the absence of a family of her own. She never married and had no children, which left her feeling isolated in her final years. Coates was diagnosed with cancer, and despite fighting the disease, she passed away on November 6, 1995, at the age of 62. Her death marked the end of a promising career that had never fully materialized into the stardom many believed she deserved, leaving a sense of what could have been. Alan Fudge, who played Jack Sylvester in 1987 at the age of 43, portrayed a wise and stable character who offered guidance to Matlock. Unfortunately, Alan's real life was far from stable. He struggled with alcoholism for much of his career, a battle that caused the collapse of his marriage and left him estranged from his children. His addiction consumed him, leading to several failed attempts at rehab and a deterioration in his health. Despite his career, which included roles in other popular TV series, Alan's personal life was a tragic story of lost opportunities and regret. His health issues worsened as he grew older, and he spent his final years reflecting on the personal cost of his choices. Alan Fudge passed away on October 10, 2011, at the age of 67, from complications related to lung and liver cancer, leaving behind a legacy of both professional success and personal struggle. Ron Carabatsos, who played Dave Christopher in 1986 at the age of 53, was known for his tough, no-nonsense demeanor on screen. But his off-screen life was fraught with pain. His marriage fell apart after years of emotional neglect, and he became increasingly isolated from his children. The failure of his marriage was compounded by his health issues, which began to take a toll as he aged. Ron's relationship with his children suffered, and they distanced themselves from him as he struggled with a non-communicable disease. Despite finding success in his career, he could not escape the personal demons that plagued him. In his later years, Ron often expressed regret for not being there for his family when they needed him the most. He passed away on April 17, 2012, at the age of 78, from the complications of his illness. His death marked the end of a career filled with unfulfilled potential, as he lived the latter part of his life in regret and isolation. Julie Summers, who began playing Julie March in 1987, was 47 years old when she took on the role of the Assistant District Attorney. Julie was known for her professionalism and dedication to justice, but Summers' personal life was plagued by misfortune. Her marriage to Dennis L. Verdugo, which began in 1974, ended in divorce, and her subsequent relationships were also fraught with difficulty. She experienced emotional turmoil, marked by a sense of betrayal and mistrust, and struggled to maintain her sense of self amidst the chaos. Despite her professional success, Summers found herself battling personal demons, unable to escape the impact of her troubled love life. Now 84 years old, Summers lives a quieter life, still involved in occasional creative projects, but the scars from her past relationships remain. Her story is one of both professional achievement and personal tragedy, with her emotional struggles remaining a constant part of her journey. Kean Holiday, who played Tyler Hudson on Matlock starting in 1986 at age 37, brought a unique blend of street smarts and deep commitment to his character, a private investigator who shared Matlock's dedication to uncovering the truth. Despite the success he found with the role, Holiday's life off-screen was fraught with personal turmoil. His first marriage to Shirley ended in divorce, and his second marriage also faced difficulties. Holiday, who had 2 children from his first marriage, found himself trying to balance fatherhood and a career that was slipping. Though he tried to remain active in his work, the emotional toll of his failed marriages and the weight of personal struggles led to a sense of isolation. As of 2025, at age 75, Kean is still alive but continues to carry the emotional weight of his troubled past, unable to fully escape the shadow of his personal struggles despite his enduring resilience. Nancy Stafford, who played Michelle Thomas starting in 1986, was 32 years old when she began portraying the intelligent and compassionate attorney. Michelle was a key character, often offering support to Ben Matlock in his cases, but Stafford's own life was filled with emotional ups and downs. Her marriage to lawyer Mark Andrus in 1990 seemed promising at first, but it ended in a painful divorce in 1996 after 6 years, leaving Stafford heartbroken and struggling to rebuild. The divorce took a deep emotional toll on her, affecting both her personal life and career. Though she continued to find work in television, her heartache lingered, and she struggled with feelings of abandonment and self-doubt. Now 70 years old, Stafford has managed to stay active in the entertainment industry, but the shadows of her past relationships continue to shape her personal journey, a reminder of the emotional sacrifices behind the success of her career. Daniel Robuk, who played the role of Cliff Lewis in Matlock starting in 1987 at the age of 24, quickly earned attention for his portrayal of the savvy and dedicated private investigator. His character, often by Ben Matlock's side solving complex cases, became an integral part of the show. However, despite his early success, Robuk's career post-Matlock did not live up to expectations. While he continued to work, many of his roles were smaller, and he struggled to capture the spotlight again. His personal life mirrored this professional downturn, as he faced 2 failed marriages and complicated relationships with his children. Robuk also battled depression and the financial fallout from a failed business venture, which contributed to his personal and professional struggles. As of 2025, now 61 years old, Robuk continues to find work in smaller roles, but the weight of his past remains, and he struggles to reclaim his place in the industry that once embraced him so warmly. Brin Fey, who began portraying Leanne McIntyre in Matlock in 1991 at the age of 42, was widely praised for her portrayal of the sharp and determined attorney, often working alongside her father Ben Matlock. Thayer's acting career, however, never fully capitalized on the success of Matlock. After the series ended, she found herself caught in a series of roles that failed to offer her the same opportunities, leaving her with an uncertain career. Her personal life brought its own turmoil, as she experienced a painful divorce from actor James Tupper after 15 years of marriage, which left her to raise their son, Callum, on her own. The emotional strain of the divorce was compounded by the loss of her mother to cancer in the late 2000s, an event that further deepened her grief. Thayer's attempts to balance her career with her personal hardships proved difficult, and she found solace in fewer public appearances. As of 2025, now 75 years old, Thayer remains active in charity work, but her career has largely faded into the background. Carrie Lopez, who portrayed Cassie Phillips in Matlock starting in 1986 at the age of 25, brought a youthful and energetic presence to the show as Ben Matlock's bright law clerk. However, Lizer's career after Matlock faced numerous challenges, as she struggled to land significant roles in both television and film. Her acting career faltered, with many of her roles being minor and uncredited, leaving her feeling disillusioned. In her personal life, Lizer experienced heartbreak when her marriage to an actor ended in divorce, and her hopes of starting a family were never realized. Financial instability further compounded her struggles, and she found herself facing an ongoing battle with addiction, which severely impacted both her career and personal well-being. As of 2025, now 63 years old, Lizer lives away from the public eye, having found some peace in her private life. Linda Pearl, who portrayed Charlene Matlock in 1986, was 31 years old when she began her role as Ben Matlock's daughter. Charlene was an intelligent and strong attorney, often seen standing her ground in the courtroom alongside her father. However, Linda's personal life was far from the picture of stability her character suggested. Her first marriage to actor Alexander Carey ended in divorce, and though she remarried, her second and third marriages also fell apart. She had one son from her second marriage, but her family life was characterized by tension and emotional struggles. Linda faced a deep battle with depression, particularly in her later years, which worsened as her acting career slowed down. She never quite regained the public recognition she once had, and her roles became sparse. By 2025, at 69 years old, Linda lived in relative seclusion, her career and personal life marked by a sense of unfulfilled promise and deep regret. Michael Durrell, who played D.A. Lloyd Burgess in 1986, was 47 years old when he began portraying the ambitious, morally upright district attorney. Lloyd Burgess was often seen as a foil to Matlock, a man bound by law and principle, yet Michael's own life mirrored none of the decisiveness his character exhibited. Durrell's career struggled to achieve lasting success despite numerous roles in television and film. Personal hardship followed him closely, with a difficult divorce early in his life and a series of relationships that never brought him the happiness he sought. Despite his professional demeanor on screen, Michael struggled with periods of loneliness, depression, and financial difficulty. The latter years of his career were marked by a sense of bitterness as he saw his peers rise to greater fame. By 2025, at the age of 85, Michael's health had declined, and he lived quietly, far from the limelight. Carol Houston, who portrayed Jerry Stone on Matlock in 1994 at the age of 35, played the sharp and resourceful private investigator who often worked alongside Ben Matlock. Jerry was intelligent, determined, and always striving for justice, much like Houston herself, but her personal life didn't mirror the strength of her on-screen character. Houston's marriage to fellow actor was short-lived, and her divorce was a painful chapter in her life. This experience left her emotionally wounded, and she stepped back from the limelight for a time to heal. The emotional scars from her failed marriage affected her career, as she struggled to regain her confidence and sense of self. By 2025, Houston, now 65, continues to work occasionally but prefers to stay out of the public eye. While her career may have slowed down, the echoes of past heartache still shape her personal life, and she remains a figure of quiet strength despite the challenges she has faced. Mitchell Lawrence, who took on the role of the prosecutor in Matlock in 1988 at age 38, portrayed a sharp and highly strategic legal adversary, often challenging Matlock's brilliant defense tactics with his own calculated and ruthless courtroom maneuvers. His character was defined by precision and determination. Off-screen, however, Lawrence's life took a much darker turn. His professional life never reached the heights it once seemed destined for, and his personal life was filled with turbulence. Lawrence endured a painful divorce that left deep emotional scars, and he struggled to maintain a connection with his children after the separation. As his career slowed, he faced financial hardships and personal isolation, often feeling trapped in a cycle of regret and longing for a happier, more fulfilled life. By 2025, at age 74, Lawrence lives a quiet, reclusive existence, far from the spotlight. James McKeen, who portrayed Lieutenant Frank Daniels in Matlock starting in 1986 at age 56, was known for his unwavering dedication to his work and his calm demeanor. However, McKeen's life was fraught with personal struggles. His marriage ended in a difficult divorce, leading to estrangement from his children, which caused him deep emotional pain. Despite his professional achievements, he battled with health problems, including multiple surgeries in his later years, which further isolated him from those around him. McKeen's emotional scars from his failed relationships and health battles continued to haunt him, and by 2025, at age 94, he remains alive, yet his legacy is overshadowed by the personal turmoil he faced throughout his life. His career may have been notable, but it was overshadowed by the internal struggles he could never fully escape. Tom Nowicki, who began playing the prosecutor in Matlock in 1993 at age 36, brought a formidable and strategic presence to his role, always putting up a strong challenge to Matlock in the courtroom. However, his personal life was a stark contrast to his professional success. Nowicki's marriage ended in a painful and bitter divorce, leaving him to raise his 2 children on his own. The emotional strain from the divorce affected his ability to connect with his children, and his attempts at finding love again were marred by a series of failed relationships. While his career seemed steady, it slowly began to fade as he struggled with feelings of inadequacy and despair, unsure of his place in the world. By 2025, at age 68, Nowicki still lives quietly, away from the public eye. The emotional scars from his broken family and career struggles continue to haunt him, and despite his early promise, his life is now defined by missed opportunities and a deep sense of loss. Robin Thomas, who portrayed Burton Hawkins on Matlock starting in 1986 at 37 years old, played a sharp and determined prosecutor who often found himself in fierce competition with Matlock. While his role gave him some visibility, his career quickly plateaued, and he struggled to transition into significant roles after the show ended. His personal life, too, was marred by difficulties. Thomas experienced the heartbreak of divorce and, tragically, the loss of his only child, a devastating blow that overshadowed both his career and his ability to move forward. Despite remarrying, his personal life continued to be defined by grief and regret. As of 2025, Thomas is 75 years old, and while he is mostly withdrawn from the public eye, the emotional wounds from his personal tragedies and the missed opportunities in his career continue to haunt him. Albert Hall, who portrayed Assistant DA Carabatsos in 1988, was 51 years old when he began his role. Carabatsos was a strategic and intelligent prosecutor who often found himself in conflict with Matlock in the courtroom, using his sharp legal mind to challenge Ben's tactics. Despite his success in this role, Albert's career was marked by a series of underwhelming roles that failed to bring him the recognition he hoped for. His personal life mirrored this struggle. Albert married twice, but both marriages ended in divorce, and his relationship with his children became strained over the years. He battled loneliness and depression in his later years, living a quiet life away from the limelight. By 2025, at 87, Albert was still alive, but his dreams of a prosperous career and fulfilling personal life were long gone, leaving him to reflect on the opportunities that never materialized. Robert C. Traver, who played the dedicated FBI agent Dennis Spears in Matlock in 1989 at the age of 28, was a committed actor known for his portrayal of methodical, no-nonsense characters. However, Traver's career after the show struggled to take off. Despite his talents, he found himself confined to minor roles and struggled with the effects of being typecast. His personal life was no less tumultuous. He endured a painful divorce, which was followed by the heart-wrenching death of his mother. These events took an emotional toll on Traver, who also faced health issues that further impacted his ability to work. As of 2025, Traver is 64 years old and lives a more secluded life, far from the spotlight, burdened by the struggles of his past and the career he never fully achieved. J. Kenneth Campbell, who portrayed Agent Ed Wingate in 1988, was 41 years old when he began his role. Wingate was a competent and focused FBI agent who worked alongside Matlock to solve complicated cases. Despite his professional success in this role, Campbell's own life was filled with personal and professional struggles. His acting career, though steady, never saw the breakthrough that he had hoped for, and he often found himself in supporting roles rather than leading ones. His marriage was troubled, and he faced growing tension in his relationship with his child, as his work-life balance deteriorated. By 2025, J. Kenneth, now 77, had faded from the public eye, living quietly with a sense of unfulfilled potential. His career never lived up to the promise it once held, and he was left grappling with the quiet realization that his best years had slipped away. Mark McAuley, who played Detective Robert Bob Garrison in 1994 at the age of 37, was known for his sharp eye for detail and unwavering dedication to solving cases. His character's steady, methodical nature on screen mirrored the pressure and isolation he often felt in real life. Off-camera, Mark's life was filled with deep personal struggles, particularly with his failed marriage to a fellow actor. The divorce was messy in public, resulting in a fractured relationship with his only son, who resented Mark for choosing his career over family. His career, while successful, was often overshadowed by his personal turmoil. Despite being able to land roles in popular TV shows, Mark's emotional baggage weighed him down. As of 2025, Mark is 67 years old, living a solitary life. The emotional scars from his family's disintegration still affect him, and he often reflects on how much he lost in the pursuit of his career. Katherine Moennig, who portrayed Susan O'Malley starting in 1986 at the age of 33, brought determination and intelligence to her role as a lawyer, but her real-life story was one of heartbreak. After her marriage fell apart due to her husband's infidelity, Katherine became a single mother, struggling to balance raising her daughter with the demands of a fast-paced career. Her strained relationship with her daughter, who blamed her for prioritizing work, left Katherine emotionally devastated. Despite her success on screen, she was privately battling feelings of inadequacy and loneliness. Katherine also faced public scrutiny for being a working mother, which compounded her personal struggles. Over the years, she sought therapy to deal with the guilt and pain of her family falling apart. By 2025, Katherine is 71 years old. While she has reconciled somewhat with her daughter, the emotional scars of her past continue to affect her. Who is your favorite character from Matlock? How do you feel knowing that some of the actors have passed away? Don't hesitate to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this content, please remember to like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you won't miss future videos. Thank you so much.